from the fire. First of all, we thank God that even in the fire there was favor. And we celebrate that favor that those young men had, standing up for what they believed in and refusing to bow down. But their favor, their deliverance, as we know, did not last in eternity, because eventually they had to die. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are no longer alive today. And so that deliverance, if you will, we thank God for it, was temporary. But there's another deliverance and there's another fire that is not temporary. And I come to today, as God tied these messages in together, it surprised me how similar Daniel chapter 3 is and Revelation chapter 20. There are a whole lot of things that line up, a whole lot of events that had to happen in Revelation 20 and in Daniel 3 to get that deliverance. I can't believe they fumbled like that. You can relax because you know your team came out on top. All you want to know is how they came out on top. Well, I come to tell you, Jesus comes out on top. So every now and then there may be a fumble in my life, but I don't have to panic about it. I may mess around and throw an interception sometime when I mess around and throw to the wrong team. But don't panic about it. All I'm waiting to find out is how I come out on top. And I come to tell you that's all you need to wait on. When you get on the Lord's side, it's a guaranteed victory. So you press your way through just so you can see how God is going to bring you out. Yes, these souls were those set on the throne. And then he said, I saw them who did not bow down to the image. When you look at Daniel 3, the 3 Hebrew boys were in the fiery furnace, thank you, Holy Ghost, because they would not bow down. And here in Revelation, when the Antichrist comes, takes over this world by those who left and did not make the rapture, those who don't bow down to his image will be executed. That means that's not only me, but for my loved one that's gone ahead of me, there's a great getting up morning when this corruption shall put on incorruption, when this mortal shall put on immortality, when this weakness shall put on power, when the first resurrection. That means everybody that loves the Lord, when they get up with that power on the first resurrection, the second death will have no power over them. You see, in other words, to get the first resurrection, you got to have the second birth. When you get the second birth, you ain't got to worry about the second death. It's appointed to me to die once. But I thank God I won't have to face the second death. What is the second death, preacher? Well, Revelation says death and hell were cast into a lake of fire. This is the second death. But unfortunately, they're going to have some company. For it says, oh, the fearful, the unbelieving, the liars, whoremongers, idolaters, the sorcerers. What's a sorcerer? I ain't talking about witchcraft. Sorcerer comes from the Greek word pharmakia, which means we get our word pharmaceutical, which means the drugs. In other words, the drug dealers. So let me back up and put it in 2014. The unbelieving, folk who say they believe and don't believe. The fearful, those who are ashamed to let the world know that God is my rock and my salvation. The whoremongers, those that dwell among whore. The liars, the folk who tell lies to get through. The drug dealers who make a profit today but gone tomorrow. They're all fearful. They all got their part in the lake of fire. And that is the second death.